And welcome to Capital Talk, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of Kenya. Now, more than ever, I'm Jeff Koinange. Now, all this week, we've been telling you our theme is basic. It's simple. Radio personalities, the best and the brightest. And you watched Chris Foot on the show last night, and we're going to take it to a different level now, because my guest, I tell you, talk about talent. Not only is he fluent in French, that's right, he's a trained teacher. He got a degree in French here at the university. Put that aside. I tell you, 3 years ago, when The Big Breakfast decided to go for 3 presenters, he's the man in the middle. One side is Mzee Jalanga Mwenyewe, and of course on the other is the queen herself, Caroline Mutoko. He's the man in the middle. After The Big Breakfast, he goes to Alliance Francaise, teaches French, and if he's not doing that, he's doing a play every month. Heartstrings Productions. He started with Churchill and a couple other guys. This month is a play called Oh My God, OMG. Folks, this man doesn't rest, and he has a TV show every Saturday morning called Scrum Down because he's a huge rugby fan. In fact, his brother is on the Kenya 7 team, huge star. That's right, you know who I'm talking about. It's Lavin's brother, the older Asego, as in Larry Asego. Larry, good to see you, my brother.
Good to see you.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. I think it's 3 years now.
3 years?
3 years.
And the last time you were on the bench, Larry, it was like you guys had just been recruited.
Yes.
For The Big Breakfast.
And we were still struggling to keep our position there. I think 3 years on, I think we're finally sort of safe.
I think you're doing all right.
Sort of.
I love listening to you guys because, you know, it's difficult having 1 presenter or even 2 presenters.
Yes.
3 is almost impossible.
It's a task having 3 presenters.
But you guys do it well.
And well, not that well. I don't think my MD thinks so, because we're always fighting every single Monday. We're always fighting, but at least, you know, we're trying. We're trying our best. Yeah. Because on one hand, you have the different roles. You see, for example, I think everybody knows Caroline's role. I mean, she's the feisty one up there. Right. And then Delango is the extremist, the ridiculous one. So middle ground, I have to find it.
You're the man in the middle.
Find the middle ground. Yeah. You have to try and reconcile the 2 sides,
yes.
Whether it is something you agree with or not. Right. It has to be done.
But you guys, I mean, Larry, you guys, when you take a stand, you take a stand.
You have to take a stand.
For instance, The Hague.
Oh, yes, that is a big one. Okay, you know, for whatever it is that you do in life, and I think you must have principles. Stand up for something or you'll fall for anything. Now, the principle is that before all this talk about The Hague, we had no clue where The Hague was. We didn't even care.
Yeah, we couldn't even spell Hague.
We couldn't even spell it. So all of a sudden, these guys brought it up, and it's the big thing. And then all of a sudden, you don't want it. I mean, what do you want? And in the absence of the will to do the right thing, I mean, we haven't seen it. If you actually wanted to do the right thing, you should have started in 2008. We did nothing. So go. Yeah.
And they begged for this, didn't they?
Exactly. You begged for it.
Yeah.
You were the ones who were screaming, don't be vague, go to The Hague. And then when The Hague came, you realized, damn it, these guys are serious. Yeah. We thought they were going to come after 80 years. It's not. It's happening now. It's happening next week.
Now come on, why?
If you're going, you're going.
Yeah.
Go and prove your innocence. Come back. We'll still love you. We might not vote for you, but we'll still love you. Go and come back.
At the end of the day, Larry, I say be careful what you wish for.
Definitely. You must be careful what you wish for, because you might just get it. And I think this time around they actually got it.
The other thing you guys do, you know, you do not let up. If something is wrong, like City Hall was another thing. You guys took on Philip Kisia. Yes. And you know, it worked.
It did. And you know the good thing is, this is nothing personal. Because I know Philip Kisia definitely is a very good guy. Yeah. You know, if you sit with him, you'll have intelligent talks. He's probably a very friendly guy. But if the institution of City Hall is not working, then we are blaming the institution of City Hall. Unfortunately for him, he's the one at the head. So it is, you have to be consistent at it. If you let it go, it's just like another announcement. Yep.
Yeah, and then we move on.
And then we move on. Yeah. And we should not move on. We should not move on. Like recently, I mean, when the Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, the Minister for Medical, there's so many ministries, I don't care. Well, it's rather unfortunate that he came to realize this only when it touched him.
Personally.
So it means if it hadn't touched him, he wouldn't have done anything about it. Right now at Kenyatta Hospital, there is the cardio machine. You know, very many people visit that hospital for that. It's the only one that we have. It costs like 100,000 shillings for you to get the treatment on the cardio machine. There's a spare part that is missing. Now, are we going to wait for another minister to have a heart condition so that he can have a personal approach towards it for it to be fixed? There are patients who come from Lokichogio, from Kisumu, from all over to be treated there. And if you miss your appointment, you have to wait until the following week, meaning you travel back and come back. It's unfair.
Completely.
So if you let it go, they will forget it. put it in the notes and keep it aside.
Yeah.
So you have to keep the foot on the pedal.
Bottom line, Larry, I mean, when you guys do the shows that you do you do it? Do you see an impact from what you do?
We definitely hope there's an impact from what you do, and we see an impact from what you do. Because, for example, if somebody makes a very ridiculous utterance or does something very silly, okay, and then we go on air with it, and then we say it, we call the person out, and then maybe a day or two later, or even immediately, there is some reaction from the right quarters. Then you know that they're listening, and you know you're touching the right wires.
Did you always know, like, I mean, you studied French at the university. You're a trained teacher.
Yes.
How did radio come about?
Now, in my life, I knew I was going to do a couple of things. One, I knew I was going to be a French teacher somewhere. I didn't know where. I knew I was going to be a French teacher. I knew I was going to work in media. Okay. Yeah. I actually thought I was going to work in print media, but you know, as life progressed, as I got into acting and a lot of that, I think maybe it was either audio or visual. And then I knew, well, I hope I'm going to be the Kenyan ambassador to France someday. Okay?
You put your name down.
I'll put my name down.
Yes, no need serving notice.
Definitely. No need sending guys who don't even speak the language. Correct. They don't even appreciate it. So I've had ambition, yes, and I've had focus in what I want to do in life. And I knew this when I was in Form 1 and I started doing French.
But did you, I mean, were you just good at languages, Larry, or how did that come about?
It's hard work, I tell you this, because I've been doing it for the past 10 years. I started in high school, then I went to Alliance Française, then I went to the University of Nairobi. I did my degree there, and I kept at it. I kept at it for long.
And you've been to France a couple of times?
Yes, I've been to France, I think every year for the past 6 years, but you know, for a period of like a month or two.
Yeah.
Go there, come back, you know, at least it improves you. You know, with anything, if you don't practice, you forget.
Yeah.
I mean, just like Swahili, if you don't practice, you forget.
Correct.
So I've kept at it time and time again. It's hard work. Nothing is going to be served to you on a silver platter.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's not that French of Atikuomba Maji.
No. This is French. If I'm able to teach in French,
yes,
then I think I'm pretty good.
Wow.
Yes, and I'm confident saying it because I've put hard work into it.
I am going to recommend you for that ambassadorship, Larry. Yes, you deserve this one because it's ridiculous to see people who are dispatched as you know, envoys or you know, ambassadors,
yes,
and they can't speak French.
They can't speak French. They have no knowledge of where they're going. Yeah. This is actually political appointments because you have to reward somebody's brother who got you votes. I don't know where. It's rather unfortunate. And the entire institution, we're just making a mockery out of it. You see, that's all this. I mean, there's some who are trained ambassadors, they're trained diplomats, which is a good thing. Yeah. But there's some is just a political deal. It's a favor you're doing somebody. Okay? Wait, you go there, go to that country, be an ambassador while we find something for you to do. It's rather unfair.
It is. And with our new constitution, Larry, we can talk about this.
Now we can.
Yeah, without fear of favor.
Without fear of favor, because the good thing is this. For the first time, talking about ministries, for example, you don't have to be a politician to be a minister. Mm-hmm. You must be a trained profession in that field. Yeah. That is a good thing. So you don't have to please, oh, my people. You see, this is my people thing that I have to do right by my people. That's why the water ministry is in so much chaos right now, because you're trying to provide water for my people. So you see, you have to be a trained professional, and you'll be having a nationwide outlook to whatever it is you're doing in your ministry. That's a plus. It's a very big plus.
And if you mess up,
you go.
You're gone.
We'll recall you.
Straight.
And the good thing is, anybody can go to court on behalf of others. Yeah.
Larry, you know what I love about your show? You guys, you're fearless. You guys are fearless. You call it like you see it.
You have to. You have to. You know, the thing is this. Despite some of the things that, for example, you say on radio, okay, you might not hold a personal opinion about it, but it's the character, it's the role that you've been given. That is the job. You have to deliver it, and you have to do it. Yeah. And you have to. You don't have to be scared of anything, because at the end of the day, they're just humans like us. They make mistakes. The only difference is that we admit our mistakes. Some of them don't, yeah, which is ridiculous. You cannot be perfect your entire life.
Correct.
You will make mistakes. You'll have to say, excuse me, I'm sorry, I goofed. Let's move on. I'm going to correct it.
But you have to say you're sorry.
Simple. You have to say you're sorry.
Yes.
It's that simple.
And you'll be forgiven.
You'll be forgiven. How many of these people, I call them Club 222, has made a mistake and actually admitted, listen, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I'm going to correct it? Nobody. Yeah. None. Yeah. We've been waiting for that moment. And the moment one person says, listen, I made a mistake, I'm sorry, I'm going to correct it, and you actually correct it, we're going to applaud you.
Larry, are we going to make a difference in the next election? Do you think we have been wise enough? Are we wise to the fact that we've been played the last, whatever, many years?
Yes, yes.
Are we going to change this time around? Can we make a turnaround change?
You know, there's this expression that the president's son used to use all the time, raundi hisi mchezo. You know, but this time around, they got it wrong. Raundi hits for the electorate. I think we have a wiser electorate. We are more aware of the constitutional issues, parliamentary issues. We're aware of national issues. We're aware what touches us. Okay, and we've seen where these people's allegiance is. It's not the Kenyan people. It's a personal interest. When you're shuttling people all over the place, spending taxpayers' money to protect people we don't care about, what are you showing me as the person who is going to vote? So this time around in 2012, I definitely hope and pray, as I live and breathe, that definitely something is going to give. Because I'm sure there's some good guys out there. Yeah. There are good people who actually mean well for this country. But the thing is, they're overtaken by the other people who have personal gains. You see, I mean, what is the point of having 1 billion shillings in your bank account and the person next to you is dying of hunger? How is that humane? It's not. It's totally unfair. And this is the person who put you there to represent their interests.
Are we to blame in the media sometimes, Larry, because we always give the usual suspects so much airtime? Every day, front pages of the newspapers, leading story in the TV and radio. We give them all the airtime. Are we to blame?
Now, this coin is two-sided, okay? As much as the media is to blame, okay? Because we have national issues. For example, fuel is touching Kenyans. I mean, the prices are going up and, you know, Kenyans are touched because kerosene is expensive. You can't afford day-to-day stuff. But on the other hand, Kenyans feed so much on politics. Unfortunately, we are a political nation. And the only other time Kenyans actually unite is when we have a sports team doing something great. Like athletics, they brought gold medals, everybody is totally Kenyan.
For like a day.
A politician steps on a podium, we forget that we are Kenyan. I all of a sudden become Luo, Kikuyu, I become Indian, I become this. Yes. So you see, it's two-sided. Kenyan feeds so much on politics. And they tune in and expect you to comment on whatever it is they watched last night or whatever it is that they had over the weekend. They want you to comment on that. If you try to shift their attention towards a particular issue that is affecting some people, it is a paradigm shift that will take time, but we are getting there. For example, all of a sudden we started sensitizing people on pension schemes, okay, on owning homes, telling them that, listen, this is happening at this ministry, it's not fair. It is your right to have social security. NHIF, I mean, they've revamped, it's looking good. And people are shifting their attention.
So we need to keep that up.
We need to keep it up. We need to keep it up. And also, let's face it, at the end of the day, there are some political forces behind some media houses. So at the end of the day, if I want my media space and I'm a stakeholder in that industry, I'm going to get my space. Yeah. So it's difficult. It's difficult. It's a difficult balance to keep up. But if we keep at it, we'll definitely get it. I'd like to see the front pages with different things altogether. Yeah. Anytime we get gold medals, I'd rather we have the sports page on the front. Yes. It's less stressing to see.
Can you imagine in other countries, Larry, if you had 6 out of 8 gold medals?
Ooh, we'd have a parade from the airport. We'd actually almost have a national holiday. Yes. Okay?
Kids will be out of school.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, there's some countries they win a bronze medal.
Yeah.
That's 1 bronze medal in like 6 years. And they hold a national celebration. Yeah. That guy is taken to the museum. Yeah. He gives talks to schools. Yeah. How many gold medals do you have in this country ever since the 80s?
My goodness.
We cannot count.
No.
We cannot count. But what do? You know, surprisingly, you can actually walk past Paul Tergat in the streets and not recognize him.
Isn't that a shame?
In other countries, their superstars cannot walk in the streets because they'll be mobbed by fans. Yeah. But it's a shame. It's a shame.
And this is a reflection of us, isn't it?
Exactly, as Kenyans. You know, the first thing is, we always have to admit that, listen, my fault is this, I am going to correct this before I actually point a finger at somebody else. That's the first step.
Are we going to get there, Larry?
Difficultly, but if we manage to change a few, I think it's going to have a ripple effect, and hopefully it's going to trickle down to everybody else.
Larry, I want to talk more about that because that is so keen, and you guys are leading from the front on this. Also, heartstrings. Oh my goodness. How do you guys come up with all these topics, man? I want to talk about that. And also, advice to people who want to get in your field, man. Not just French, but also radio. First, we'll take a break. Whoa! Like Larry says, oh my goodness. I told you this week is going to be phenomenal. We've got the best of the best in radio. Larry Asego up there. And not just radio, he's a fluent French instructor, teacher, professor, you name it, Professor Larry. And he has his own show on TV every Saturday morning, Scrum Down. Whoa, we're going to talk all about that after the break. The bench is literally just warming up. Back in a moment. And welcome back to Capital Talk. It's going to be an excellent week, folks, because we've got the best and the brightest in radio. And I tell you, Larry Asego up there with the best of the best. He always knew he would be in media. That's why he's on TV right now. He always knew he would be some kind of French expert. He is a teacher at Alliance. Il parle très bien français. How's that?
You're almost getting there.
Larry Asego.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
Merci, merci. I lived in Abidjan for a while, so
okay.
I learned mine the hard way.
Well, their French is a bit dodgy, but it's fine.
Larry, I was asking Chris Foot yesterday,
Yes.
What's his typical day like? I mean, yours, man. I mean, goodness, please show us, walk us through your typical day.
Okay, wake up at 4, quarter to 4, depending on the days. For example, if you have a lot of workload, you have to be up by 3:45. If it's easy, 4. In the studio by 4:30. Then you do your prep for 1.5 hours. You do the show from 6 to 10. Then after that, 10 to 11, you do your post-production meeting. And then after that, I rush to the Alliance Française, grab lunch. Then I get into class until 5:30. And now, if I have a play, the play starts at 6:30, which will end at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. Then I go back home. I'm in the house by 10, 10:30. Okay.
Goodness.
If I don't have a play and I have my show that I'm putting up, definitely, you do the show, record it, make sure that everything is fine. Get home. On a nice day, I'd get home early, let's say 8.
Is that a tough balancing act, Larry?
It is a very tough balancing act, but I always say that everything that I'm doing right now, actually, I absolutely love what I'm doing. I love radio. I love teaching French. I love my rugby life, and I love acting. It's actually a passion.
Yeah.
And they say, if you actually do what you love, you will never have to work a day in your life.
And then throw in a couple of those MC functions of yours with a tuxedo and everything. I've seen those.
You will not see me in tuxedos every single day, but I do a lot of that as well. emceeing events, corporate functions, and it's of course you have to live. You have to get the extra buck.
Correct.
And you have to deliver.
But those watching right now, Larry, they need to know that it's not an easy job. It's not an easy career that you pick, isn't it?
Oh no, it's not. It's not. As much as people say that, oh, you guys sound as if you're having fun. Even the fun is structured, and fun is serious business, as people will tell you, and it's hard work. First of all, go to school or stay in school, get an education. That's the first thing. That's the best thing you can do for yourself, you can do for your kids. And education is the key to everything, because you cannot just go and start opening your mouth on issues that you haven't researched. Okay, you might either that's the shortest way to a libel suit. You might find yourself very broke because you're in court every single day because of something stupid you said, or you'll just end up sounding dumb.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
and there's nothing as bad as somebody sounding dumb and you have an ID card. It's very ridiculous. So get an education. It's hard work. You have to put in the hours, expecting that you will wake up one day and I want to be famous. Okay, if you're getting into media and you want to get into media for the purpose of being famous, that's the wrong career for you. Get into the media because you want to do something, you want to achieve something. Fame cannot be a number one reason. Fame is something that comes afterwards.
If at all.
If at all. And how do you get fame? You get fame by people loving what you do. And if you're not learned, if you're not educated, if you don't know the issues, how can they love you?
Correct.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
So it's hard work.
And you're not going to get fame by getting on Facebook, right?
No. Kenyans will love Facebook. I tell you this. The other day I was I put a very stupid comment on Facebook. I'm like, listen, let's try something out. I put a very intelligent comment first of all. Let's say, for example, do you think, for example, Tunisia is possible in Kenya? Then guys commented. I got like 20 comments. Okay. Then that issue died. Then immediately I put up another update. I said, I just saw this lady. She's very beautiful. She was wearing a miniskirt. I got 64 responses. Okay. Yeah. From an issue to a non-issue, meaning that we are using these social networks for the wrong reasons. I mean, if you want an Ethiopia, if you want an Egypt in Kenya, you have to stop using Facebook as a place where you can be, what do they refer to it as? You can be anonymously myopic. Okay? Nobody knows about it. Yeah. Nobody knows you. Yeah. You find some funny name, Lulu Pupu, whatever it is. Right. And you're not discussing any issues.
And you're not even using your real name.
You're not even using your real name. So if you don't have a real name, don't be on my Facebook page. I mean, it's just simple. It's by choice. Yeah. So if we are going to use any social network, because the youth in Ethiopia, and Egypt saw it, and they know where they're heading with it, they're dealing with issues. Yeah. But for us, we are Facebookers. And unfortunately, that's the only book we read mostly. Facebook and phone book. Rather unfortunate, man.
It is, Larry.
It is.
Yeah. Let's go back to the big breakfast.
Yes.
Is it just me, Larry, or have you guys gravitated a lot more towards Swahili?
Well, not gravitated as such. We started this edition called Swahili Fridays, where we decided, listen, let's go back to learning Swahili because we realized our Swahili is just pathetic. Particularly Jalangos, he don't even talk about it Swahili. It's crazy, it's chaotic.
Yeah.
But Swahili is a national language. It's something that you can speak anywhere. You know, you can go to the far reaches of Karachuonyo or Lokichoge, whatever it is, and speak Swahili. There'll be somebody who understands you. It's a uniting factor, okay? And we speak it questionably. You know, it's not that well spoken. And we admit our weaknesses in Swahili. I'm not perfect in Swahili. But in primary school, I tell you this. My inches, I used to get A's. I used to get A's in Swahili because, you know, in school, we're learning it for the context. But once you're out of an exam context, you don't care about it.
Right.
Okay? We say that if you're going to speak a language, speak it well. If you're speaking English, speak English. If you're speaking Swahili, speak Swahili well.
Don't mix it.
Don't mix it. No employer will ever touch you if you're going to mix up that Sheng language that people love so much and have given me grief years on end over. I don't get, I mean, where will you walk into an office and then an employer hires you because you say, I kwendad, oh, I patad that mama. Nobody will hire you.
Yeah, how do you write that down?
I don't think people get it. Nobody will hire you. You know, I'm a trained teacher.
Yes.
Okay? English and French. Okay, not Swahili, but English and French. Understand how languages work, okay? And understand the institutions of employment. You know, job seekers, they're always like, Niaje, by the way, you know, I presented my CV over here. How do you address a potential employer with words like Niaje? How do you send a CV via SMS talk? See you later, right? L and then H.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
And the letter C and the letter U.
Exactly, see you later. It's not possible. I know if you definitely write to either Caroline Mutoko, who you send your letters to because you want a job, she will not even look at it.
No,
delete immediately.
Straight.
I mean, we went to school, we learned several things. We learned the structure of a formal letter. We learned English. We learned Swahili. Speak it. At least speak one of them well. If you want to speak Sheng later, that's fine. Yeah. But at least be comfortable with your either English or Swahili. Know it well. And this is a fact. Know it well.
Don't bring your Sheng to the workplace.
No. And you know, people, the moment you start arguing that Sheng is a real language, it's not. Go to Island, speak Sheng there. Go to Kibera, speak Sheng there, and then you'll see the difference.
It's too different.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
It's different. And languages don't operate like that. English is standard. Hello is hello. It will never change to anything else. It's hello. Good morning is good morning. Okay? Niaje, Nigeria, you know, from different places will change.
Wazeya,
Diabadi Nyai Mweda, you know, you're like, Chief, what are you talking about? But at the end of the day, if you want somebody to take you seriously, act the part.
Yes.
Act the part.
How is Swahili Fridays? Is it kicking?
Swahili Friday is kicking. And particularly, it's more famous now with people from Kisumu. You know, people from Kisumu, they say Kiswahili is mdomo yetu. You know, it's not a mother tongue. It's not the easiest, but since Maranda High School performed well, I think now we can brag.
Okay. Your rugby show. I mean, Larry, you're a big rugby fan, aren't you?
I am. Because I played the sport.
What position?
Well, I've played fly half. I've played center and at fullback.
Nice.
Yes.
And Lavin is doing all right, huh?
Yes, he's doing all right. I mean, I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of him. Because he also plays the same position. And even the younger one, Chris, is also playing the same position. All of us actually played number 10 for Mwamba. So it's like, you know, pass it down, pass it on, pass it on.
Pass down the shirt.
Yes.
And Scrum Down is doing okay? I mean, it's a good show?
It's a good show. It's a good show because it's the first local rugby show that we had. And, you know, we do the weekend roundup. We go to local games, actually record local games, and get in touch with local fans, you know. We're trying to give rugby the lift that it needs, okay? Because too much attention has been given to, for example, like athletics, which is good. I mean, they're doing well. But we have other sports other than athletics and football.
And rugby has really put Kenya on the map, hasn't it?
It has. It has put Kenya on the map, and unfortunately, not that much recognition in terms of support from the right quarters. Yes. I'll not keep saying the government because that forget about it, that budget is too slim for sports. But support from the right quarters can do a lot in helping the players. Because support can be in terms of, for example, if a food manufacturing company can say, listen, I'm going to feed these boys as they're preparing for the World Cup. Then there's a gym that comes up. For example, Sadili Oval have been really helpful. They're saying, listen, you can get gym anytime you want, you can just come and train, which is brilliant. Yeah. Okay? You don't expect the national team for sevens to go and win the World Cup on Ugali and Sukuma Wiki.
No. Can't work.
Give me some supplements. Yeah. Get me gym time. Yeah. I cannot be taking a matatu to training every single evening traffic, I get there at 7, then it's dark, I train only for 30 minutes, and compete against somebody who wakes up at 10 to actually do that for a living.
Correct.
It's very difficult.
And you're coming in from work, right? Yes. All our players have full-time jobs.
Exactly, either they're in school or they're at work. And at times, for example, when people are criticizing Benjamin Ayimba, the coach, for a poor performance, as much as we didn't perform well, but look at the reasons why. I mean, half of the guys who were actually the core of the team were either doing exams or at work, and they could not be excused. You see, so we had to bring in new players, maybe stage fright, or they still don't have the experience. And of course, you're not going to expect to win all the matches with that kind of immediate shift. You see, you cannot turn from hot to cold.
Correct.
But you see, as Kenyans, you're very demanding.
Extremely.
Extremely demanding, and we want to win matches. We want the World Cup home.
You want to beat South Africa and New Zealand every time.
Yes, but I tell you this, anytime those boys step on the pitch, it's blood and sweat for the rugby team. They don't do it because they get paid, because we all know it's peanuts, but they do it because they love the sport.
And let's not forget, Larry, they are top 10 in the world.
They are.
Top 10.
They're the best. They've actually beaten the top clubs. They've beaten Fiji, they've beaten New Zealand, they've beaten South Africa, they've beaten the top teams in the world. They've even beaten Wales, who are actually the world champions. We've beaten all these teams. So it means it can be done. So with the right mechanisms in place, everything can work. Because I believe that, forget about this notion of kazi kwa vijana, is just making sure that the vijanas just keep digging trenches and slashing. Kazi kwa vijana is also sports. It's also sports. Right now, football, for example, is big. The local league is big because of one thing, because of the support.
That's right.
You see? So, I mean, exterior people came and gave support to a local thing, and it's working big. You see? So it's just about the support.
And look at the fans in the stands, Larry, when this Sevens team gets on the field.
Exactly.
Incredible.
It's the passion for the game. You see, these guys actually love the sport. They understand all the difficulties. And I tell you this, there are what we call the rugby fanatics. Okay? Win or lose, they will always be there. They will travel with the team wherever it is they're going from their own pocket. Guys will save for like 6 months, get into the plane, go to Hong Kong with the team, come back with the team.
Like this weekend is Hong Kong, right?
Exactly. We're playing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Larry, I can't let you go without asking you about Heartstrings.
Heartstrings Kenya. Well, Heartstrings Kenya, we've been there for a while. I think this is our 16th year of existence. It's been a very long and tough battle. Because to get guys into the theater scene, at the theater halls is very difficult. We have to compete so much with the cinema and movies, which brings us just some, I mean, cliche American movies where there are very many explosions.
You're trying to compete with that?
No, they can't compete with that. So it's very difficult, but Heartstrings has been there for a while.
And every month you're on?
Every month we're on. But see, nowadays, less every month, and we do every 6 weeks, because we used to do a play a month, okay, just for 1 week. And then the demand got higher, so we used to do one play for 2 weeks. Now we're doing one play for 3 weeks. And the play we're doing currently is called Oh My God. Okay. Now the context of Oh My God is, I think everybody in Nairobi knows how the Oh My God thing came about. You see, somebody has been, busted in a situation, and then, the person can just say, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But the question is, we love that expression, oh my God, but what if God was actually to appear every single time you said, oh my God? I think you'd find very many of us in very many compromising situations. What would you say? Oh my God, yes. What would you say?
He's there.
Exactly, what would you say? I think you'd run. The first thing you'd do, you'd run. Then you'd say, oh, witchcraft. We need to form a commission. But anyway.
And then hate speech.
Exactly. And then hate speech. Oh, blasphemy. I don't know what. But that's the context of the play. Oh, my God. And it's actually, it came, we did it for the first 2 weeks. But then due to public demand, we had to bring it back. So it's back. It's running, starting tonight, and running all through to Sunday. Fantastic. At the Alliance Française.
Wow.
Yes.
Larry, félicitations, mon frère.
Merci beaucoup.
Très, très bien. As always, great talking to you. Keep it up, man.
Thank you.
Larry Asego. Wow. Folks, this man is what we talk about when we talk about the future of Kenya. This man has encompassed it all, and he's having the time of his life. He knew he wanted to be in French. He is. He knew he wanted to be in media. He is. Folks, nothing is impossible, but you got to sacrifice and you got to work hard each and every day. That's the bottom line. And Larry is having a ball of a time doing it. Whoa! What a guest. What a show. What a week it's going to be, folks. This is what we mean. We talk about the best and the brightest in radio. Larry Asego, up there with the best of the best of the best. You cannot find guests like Larry anywhere else but right here, on the bench, on the award-winning station, K24, where we are, even in times of parlaying français. We are all Kenyan.
all the time.
Merci.
Bah de rien.
Capital Talk is filmed at Fairmont, the Norfolk.